Hi, friends. Host Eric here. Talking with famous people, and Taylor and I were just talking about reproductive viability as a term I used before, and Taylor was noting the literal epidemic of difficulty in interhuman and sexual relations that intuitives tend to have, and that the reason for this is, well, we tend to overthink things a great deal. So, being an intuitive means you're not a sensor. If you're a sensor, you're gonna be an SE kind of a sensor where you act like, uh, woman, me hump now, right? If you're
You
S,
get these sensors when you see them.
if you're an SI sensor, you're gonna think like, ooh, it's gonna feel good when your body's on my body, or whatever your SI sensors think. Uh, but if you're an intuitive, that means you're gonna think either about what new meaning can I make about this.
Meanings, patterns, and it's not. I mean, that's not a realm that it's useful in. Typically, you're talking about just reproductive viability or just sex without the relationship component attached to it. That I mean, it's been shocking to me to see how many people are sort of. I mean, to steal a phrase, reproductively not viable due to purely self-inflicted thought processes. I know that I've sort of offline privately talked to a lot of people about it, and I don't consider myself. I mean, I don't fucking understand women. So to find myself consistently in the role of relationship coach or whatever, how to pick up chicks advice is
Fun.
it's fun. It's strange. It almost feels like something that I shouldn't do. Like or like I need to give them a disclaimer. Like, okay, yes, I've got more experience than you. However, I should warn you, I was married for 1 year. X, Y, and Z.
I mean, the problem isn't. This is the thing. Intuitives have a separate problem called making wise decisions about relationships, which I think is a little bit less common than the problem, especially of male intuitives, of emerging, for especially male NTPs and INTJs. Maybe not so much ENTJs. Probably are a little bit more successful in that department, but NTPs, for example, for sure, and INTJs. Well, I can tell you as an NTP myself, when I start to think back a little bit now, feeling not terrified of women, um, I go, oh, there were lots of occasions when I had opportunities, but I didn't know that's what that was. And that's kind of weird to think back about that.
It's I mean, I can think back about missed opportunities that let go by, and I don't know if it's the same for you, but for me, I regret that way more than I regret even the worst failed attempt.
Right. Well, there was one missed opportunity that I knew about before for a long time now. I realized it was so obvious then that I even realized it then, and I felt bad about it. Then I now today I don't care. It was a long time ago, but
Yeah, I don't care now, but
I
when you
mean,
hit a dry spell, thinking about the last missed opportunity that you know is an opportunity, God damn it.
well, I mean the thing about it is I've been the type of person who went through a period of life knowing that if I land as some sort of chick, then I just better hold on to her because just buying into this narrative so completely because I don't understand them. I'm never gonna get them. I don't know how to get them. They don't like me was number one thing. They chicks hate Eric was my number one understood rule. Not that it made me bitter towards them. It made me try to be non-threatening to them so they wouldn't hate me.
And that's which is such a defeated way to approach anything. Um, but it's shocking. Like I said, I've been surprised at how frequent it is, and how many totally fucking viable people I hear or see or interact with who are doing the same thing to themselves and just way overthinking things. I mean, the fact of the matter is, if you're an overthinker and you use TI at least, there is no um, logically honest way to justify this intuition created, alternate universe where everything goes wrong when you tip over the first domino. It doesn't hold any logical consistency.
Right. Because it's like, if you have built, especially if you're this kind of like argumentative mind, and you've built this life thing of the way you deal with people is by pinning them down on something and then moving from there, progressing forward so that all understandings are explicit and clear. Because that way, if they try to pull some bullshit, you can go around and explain why they're all contradictory and you're wrong. But that is not the approach to use with women. That's not gonna work, okay? I'll leave it to old Uncle Eric to make those mistakes for you in advance, okay? I will make those mistakes and I will publicize them for you. Um, I've never been reproductively viable. I'm surely less attractive now than I was when I was younger. So it's obviously not physical appearance. I'm not like taking getting muscles now because I'm working out or something. I am riding my bike. I feel a little bit healthier riding my bike occasionally. But that's
That's
not why I feel more sexually reproductively viable. That is not why. Why is it? It's can you? I don't exactly know how to explain exactly. I don't even know what's happening.
it's confidence, but not like. I mean, even the polish on kind is better than that at all because it'll eventually evolve into it. I mean, the first thing is you just people need to stop fucking questioning themselves or doubting themselves or compare, especially T Shirks. I talked to him a little bit after that one time. It's insanity. He made it, and he's compare. If you're comparing yourself to a concept of not, not you're not comparing yourself to a peer. You're not comparing yourself to yourself. You're not comparing yourself to your partner's expectations. You're comparing yourself to a concept of the best possible performance of every component. I mean, you're comparing yourself to a made up super ideal, then you're just going to fail. I mean, you're comparing yourself to basically the best thing that you can imagine existing in reality. So that's a super bad comparison. That's also not logical. I mean, in reality, it's SE and FI, and it's two people SEing and FIing at each other. It's weird, and it's not. And it's sloppy, and it's people bumble through it. That's the nature of the beast. To try to have a conceptual model built before you go into something that, I mean, it just defies the definition. It doesn't work. It
Have,
denies sex what it is and turns it into something that is not. I mean, just and always to people's own disadvantage. I'm yet to see anyone go, well, in my fabricated conceptual world, I'm going to put myself at a head start.
um, I was gonna say, don't number one mistake. I I think I have made for so long is to think that you need to let her cue you what to do. Instead, what you got to do is let her reveal to you what you can, ought, and should cue her to do.
I mean, it depends on everyone's going to play it a little different, but I think that if you have a kind of prototype of male female, interaction, that is you. I mean, the guy. I don't know. I think, and what I've done typically is lead and then let steering happen.
Okay, that's good
Uh,
advice. I'll try to remember that.
I mean, to an extent, and that is as the sort of generic model. Not to an extent, ENTPs are good at sweeping, so I always set up to see, the interpersonal cue. Read the FE body language or whatever before that. There's that component, but yeah, I think that, and generally girls want the guy to go first.
In other words, she's not that mad.
Huh?
I said, in other words, she's not that mad. That's that's sweeping. That's the sweeping part. You see? Oh, she's not that mad. I'm sure. I'm sure she can't be that mad. I mean, it's like that attitude, right? That's the sweeping part where you go, now come on, now let's talk a little bit. You can't be that mad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And who's mad? Usually nobody's mad. Do you
Well,
have?
and how did you get in that situation in the first place? I mean, just
I
how did
probably
those
got
things?
mad.
What situation made her mad? Huh?
Probably my fault, I would guess.
Probably your fault, but that's okay. I don't know. A nice recovery is a good way. You got her attention. Getting attention is half the battle. I mean, and you can't do that by being well behaved. Oh,
The bottom line is, as FE users, ENTPs, and I think INTPs too, but to a greater extent, probably ENTPs within the third slot. FE users, we have a tendency to be concerned about whether the other person's happy, whether we look good in their eyes, whether we're doing a certain dance for them. But heterosexual males do it naturally, it seems to me, interact with females in that fashion. It's more like, you dance for me, woman. And, at the end of the day, when you get her all undressed, maybe not on the way there, but, you know what I'm saying, then it's a little bit more the other way around. So that's my thoughts about that. If you got to kind of walk towards that in a fake, like a pretendy kind of way, I think I'm working on. I don't know. I'll fill you in as I learn things, and Taylor tells me things and stuff like that.
well, I mean, there's not a right answer though, because, like I said, the nature of it is that there is no right answer. You'll feel it out as you go.
But there are productive and unproductive musings.
There are, and productively, I'd say that you a good reference is your stereotypical gender roles. If you're a heterosexual, engaging in a heterosexual activity, probably starting at your stereotypical gender role is a good place to start.
You go walk right up to you, say, "Sweetie, here's a baby doll and a slap on the ass. And get down."
I mean,
And that's
maybe look for
gold. That's every
maybe
time.
look for the line before you start section. The line between super creepy and super charming is a fine one.
Hey, you look like an old fashioned girl. I've got a newborn and a slap on the ass with your name on
Are you ovulating?
it. You have newborn infant written all over you. I,
And
I can
another thing,
smell the fertility. That's a
ooh,
that's a field that's been lying fallow a while.
I think that any verbal reference to smell is probably one of the previews. Other than good, you smell good is fine. Anything more descriptive than good is probably not.
It's super important how somebody smells.
It is, but it's not something to talk about. Full disclosure is not totally necessary.
Hello. Just to let you know ahead of time, I will be smelling you periodically throughout the evening.
Just so that you can't say that I lied to you later in an argument that we might have at a future time about anything. I want to warn you,
Yeah.
you smell like my grandma's house, but that's okay. It's a soothing, sort of nostalgic smell.
That's actually kind of cool because grandma's house is where I first started really masturbating. So I've got a lot of sexual identities tied up with that smell. So it'll be good. That'll be great for us. Oh, I can't wait to
Nice.
get your clothes off. It'll be like I'll get the lotion just like I did at grandma's house. Is that what that smell is? Do you use that lotion? Oh my god, can we go back to your place and use some of that lotion right now?
Is that Jergens? Hey, you left your bottle of Jergens on the floor.
That's fucking not my lotion, Taylor.
Uh,
Okay, well anyway, we made a video about fucking
did we just end that one?
we got
You're
in
not
either
you're not
way.
gonna
Let's
skip
go
it.
back circle. Let's go back full circle. So the point is,
The point is, don't think about it. Stop thinking about
yeah, don't think about it. Try my trick
it.
also.
It's not helping you at all.
If you are a male, this is the only piece of really practical advice that I think is if you are a male, you don't, and you haven't tried it, try. You just cut right to the chase. You ask them, uh, "Hey, I'm getting off work or whatever. I'm finishing work at whatever, like an hour from now. I'll meet you at this restaurant near you at this time. I'm buying." And you send them that message. You want to meet there?
If in doubt, reduce it and to even shorter sentence. What are you doing? I mean, think about some of the ISTPs or ESTPs that you've seen full of chicks that were smoking hot. What do?
I
They
don't.
don't
I
have a flat
don't.
generation.
I don't think that works on OkCupid because it's too text based. It's like if you're gonna be like, "Hey, what you doing?" You're gonna have to give them a little bit more than letters from the alphabet on a keyboard. You gotta have your manly charms there to have that sway work, right?
It feels like a handicapped method having to be charming in text.
Right. Well, for them it's hard. For me, it's easy. They can be more
I don't,
charming in person, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. I haven't picked up anything online since I think AOL chat rooms were around, and you could coax people into sending nudes of themselves. That wasn't really them, probably
Hmm. Well,
the '90s.
I mean, the thing is, if you try this trick, then if you just have like make sure your profiles like have your friends check it and get rid of shit. Don't add people add shit. Everybody's profiles are too long. I think is why people like. I noticed I don't really like super long chick profiles. It makes me feel like nah.
It already sounds high maintenance.
Yeah, that's a lot of detail. Am I supposed to know all that about you?
No, and that's a perfect example of that. You're supposed to find that shit out on the way. That's part of the process.
Right. I mean, I'm saying that's my response to when I see somebody with a really long profile is, boy, that's a lot of information. And a lot of times the chick will be like, now for those of you still reading, congratulations. You are a potential match for me.
That doesn't redeem. That doesn't redeem. All it actually backfires because it's like, okay, so you know this is annoying, and you're still subjecting me to it. Selfish, right? I
You could read it like that for
I get
sure,
pretty
but
selfish.
but I have heard from Susie who talked to somebody else, another male, who told her that he tried the trick and he successfully got 2 days with it as well. So that's
Which one?
I'm not going to name him because
Oh, which
it's
trick?
the hey, I'm getting off work right now. I'm starving. I'll meet you at this place near where your city is at like an hour from now, and I'm buying. And
Yeah,
then
I mean,
don't expect it to work right then. Don't expect it to work for dinner right then. It won't. I did that work today for me to get dinner date tonight. I replaced like starting at like 4 o'clock. I was like, okay, fuck it. Let me see if I can replace Chicky Poo, and fucking boom. So it works. I mean, it even works same day, but normally it doesn't work same day. Normally they like, well, I'm intrigued, but let me tell you, I can't make it tonight. Can I get a rain check? Shit like that because they think they're gonna lose the opportunity too, right? Because they're like, oh well, shit, he's asking me to go out right now. Who knows? Next time he's gonna be in my town. Whoever this random guy is, you know.
initiative and confidence, even if it's fake, fake it till you make it. You can fake it till you make it with confidence. And there's one other thing that went to my head that I just lost. Hmm. Fuck, that was a good one too.
Well, I think having just thought about it for the first time now regarding this particular aspect of it, that the immediacy and the closing window of opportunity aspect of it probably has something to do with its effectiveness.
Actually, it was this. Even if she says, first of all, if you get turned down, that's not automatically turned down. Don't call it quits on that one yet, because I mean until you've thought about it, because that might be part of the playing hard to get, whatever. Just look a little deeper at that rejection. And second of all, even if you get shut down, and even if she sincerely means it, and even if you don't have any chance at all, you're still complimenting her. You're still offering a compliment, and it'll be very rare that someone makes you regret complimenting them.
That's a good point. Yeah, because remember, they're either desired or they feel like they got to put on more makeup or something.
Yeah, yeah. It makes them feel reproductively viable.
And everybody likes to feel reproductively viable, but they don't want to feel like pieces of meat, mister. So,
Sometimes they do.
yeah, make sure they do before you treat them like that. And make sure, you should only treat them like that for the duration of the sexual activity, as per the dictates of both parties' consensual will, until ejaculation has been
Shouldn't
occurred,
come with
and then
disclaimers usually.
desist from said behaviors and revert to a egalitarian, warm, and affectionate demeanor with the woman that you were just degrading. Okay? Words to live by. Taylor.
Too many words. Just do it consensually.
What I just said, though, too. All that stuff. Okay, so that brings this video to a close of the advice of uh, me, who is sud-
14.
yeah, I'm like 14, but suddenly like, oh, now I get it. Now I get to do that thing if I want it, as much as I want it. Basically, if I want it, like I could date. I mean, but that's all. I just mean date. I don't mean like I'm gonna go out and slay the puss or anything. I just mean I can successfully go out with women and think I'm deserve to be there with them. Anyway, uh, and then Taylor, who's had a much different life experience than a lot of NTPs, because obviously he solved this puzzle earlier than most of us do, and it sounded like perhaps has perhaps a link to his extensive sporting experience. I don't know if you're aware of this, but he was in the Egyptian national croquet team, 1920 through 1942.
It's quite a feat in both sporting and space time continuums.
Well, that's where Yaylor had to come in and make that happen. It didn't just happen on its own. Took a little bit of Yaylorian
That was the golden age of Egyptian cricket.
It really was. That's what people always say that. I mean, it was the golden age of cricket. Period. I don't even know why they put that qualifier in there. It defined cricket for the rest of human history. Thanks for watching Talk with Faith, people. And don't forget to eat plenty of cheese and go ahead and climb on that lady. Touch her with your wiener.